From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. The Atlantic Liberal caucus is calling on Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to resign as party leader. In a letter dated December 23rd, was shared publicly Sunday by New Brunswick MP Wayne Long. Atlantic Caucus Chair and Nova Scotia MP Cody Bloys writes that the events following Chrystia Freeland's cabinet resignation 2 weeks ago signals from the opposition parties to declare non-confidence at the first opportunity, and tariff threats from incoming U.S. President Donald Trump make it no longer tenable for Trudeau to continue to lead the party. Tributes are rolling in for former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, celebrating his life and mourning his loss Sunday at the age of 100, the oldest former U.S. president ever. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
President Biden is remembering his dear friend of 50 years, former President Jimmy Carter.
We'd all do well to try to be a little more like Jimmy Carter.
Carter died in his hometown of Plains, Georgia yesterday, nearly 3 months after his 100th birthday, the first commander-in-chief to reach that milestone. President Biden was one of the first politicians to endorse Carter's long-shot presidential campaign back in 1976. Former President Obama saying Carter taught all of us what it means to live a life of grace, dignity, justice, and service.
Canada's ambassador to the U.S. says late former President Jimmy Carter dedicated his life to promoting peace, human rights, and equality. Kirsten Hillman posted on X that Carter's commitment to diplomacy and humanitarianism will forever serve as inspiration. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Carter was always kind and thoughtful and generous with his advice about public service. Chinese-Russian air cooperation in the Arctic has NORAD's full attention. For the first time, the two countries staged a joint patrol in the Arctic in July near the coast of Alaska. But U.S. General Gregory Guillot said in a year-end interview that event proved they're still not nearly as deeply coordinated as Canada and the U.S.
We see it right now as coordinated, meaning that they can safely operate in the same area and not near the level of integration that the Canadian forces and the U.S. forces have. So as they continue to operate up there more, it certainly has our attention. It's something we watch very closely.
Guillot says he plans to make his way up to Inuvik sometime early in the new year, his first trip to the Canadian Arctic since he assumed command of NORAD in February. And veteran TV and stage actress Linda Lavin has died. Lavin starred as the title waitress character for 9 seasons in the TV sitcom Alice from 1976 to 85, and she was nominated for an Emmy.
See, Mel, it isn't always convenient when you have a kid. You take him when you get him, like I got him at 5 in the morning.
Lavin went on to win a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play for Broadway Bound in 1987. Her rep says Lavin died unexpectedly in L.A. Sunday due to complications from lung cancer. She was 87. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Canada returned to the win column Sunday at the World Junior Hockey Championship in Ottawa. The Canadians eked out a 3-0 shutout against Germany after hanging on to a 1-0 lead until late in the game. Carter George made 25 saves for his second straight shutout, 48 hours after the Canadians were upset by Latvia in a shootout.
Pretty cool, to be able to do it again, and I just want to go out there and do my part to get this team a win.
Canada plays the U.S. in a New Year's Eve battle tomorrow night, with first place in Group A on the line. The Winnipeg Jets will host the Nashville Predators tonight in one of 3 NHL games. Yesterday, the Edmonton Oilers surrendered a 2-goal lead and lost 5-3 to Anaheim, and it was Calgary falling 3-0 to Vegas. And in football, the 13-2 Detroit Lions will visit the 6-9 49ers in tonight's NFL game. Win, lose, or tie, the Lions will meet the 14-2 Minnesota Vikings in a final week showdown in Detroit. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.